Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's live onboarding and device setup with Ledger Support. I'm Tim with Ledger, and today we're going to be setting up a Nano S Plus. And also, at the end of the video, after we get done setting up the device, we're going to do something a little different. And I'm actually going to unbox this crypto steel capsule, and I'm going to show you how to set up a crypto steel capsule and kind of talk about why you might want to consider backing up your seed phrase in steel. But we'll get to that after the device onboarding. So I'm going to put this aside for now. All right, cool. So as usual, we are going to be using a device that was previously set up in a previous live onboarding. And so you'll notice that there's no plastic covering this. And this is mainly just so that we don't have to unbox a brand new Nano every week. And then our pile of Nanos that we had were starting to get pretty big that weren't being used for anything else. So we decided just to reuse them. One other, oh, let me turn this light on real quick. That's probably better. One other cool thing about this is I will also be able to show you and explain to you why it's okay to reuse a Nano that was previously used and kind of show you how that works. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, let me switch this view real quick. All right, cool. So right here, we got our Nano S Plus. I'll go ahead and unbox it. Okay. So inside the box, you have your device, your Nano S Plus. Put that to the side. You have the secret recovery sheets, which if you've been to any of my previous onboardings, same spiel. This is empty. We've used all of the recovery sheets that come with this Nano S Plus. So we are out of Nano S Plus recovery sheets. However, we do have a stack of the recovery sheets that come with the Nano X, and really there's no difference in these recovery sheets. Other than the way they look, it's just a piece of paper that lets you write down your recovery phrase. So there's nothing inherently special about these. So that's why it's perfectly okay for us to use this recovery sheet for the Nano X. So I'll go ahead and set that down. Okay. And we'll take out this little mold right here. And then you'll see a pink envelope. And inside the pink envelope, you have, how to start your crypto journey. Just some good tips on like how to get started and where to go to download Ledger Live. Stuff like that. Here's a little bit more detailed information. Get started, and then there's some stickers and use, care, regulatory statement, all the usual stuff that comes with a electronic device. So I will go ahead and box that back up and put it to the side. And then the last piece right here in this box, this is the USB cable. It looks like there is definitely one in here. So the Nano S Plus comes with a USB-A to USB-C cable. And so if you are on a MacBook like I am, you will need to use either a dongle or a USB adapter to connect this to your computer. Or you can do it if you have a spare USB-C to USB-C cable laying around, like for one of your other electronic devices. That will also be able to get you connected to your MacBook, no problem. However, if you're on Windows, you most likely have the USB-A port, so you'll be able to connect it directly to your laptop. Go ahead and box this back up. I actually have a USB-C to USB-C cable, a super long one that's wrapped around my setup and going directly to my computer. So I'll be using a USB-C to USB-C cable today. Go ahead and make this box look pretty again for the next one. Okay. All right. So that leaves us with the Nano S Plus and the secret recovery sheet. And we're also going to need a pen for this. So let's go ahead and plug in this Nano. So this Nano, one other thing that I did this week that I don't usually do is normally I will go in and factory reset the Nano before the live stream starts, just to avoid any confusion. But today I intentionally left this Nano S Plus set up. So this Nano S Plus is set up with the recovery phrase that we use on the previous live onboarding. And so I wanted to show this in case like anyone out there gets a Nano secondhand, like from a friend who has a bunch of them. Like maybe you have a friend that went to a conference and they got like, you know, a free Nano and they set it up, but they don't need it anymore because they already have a bunch of other Nanos or other hardware wallets, and they gifted it to you. I'm going to show you why it's okay to use a Nano that was gifted to you secondhand, and how you can check to make sure that it is an authentic device. And we're going to get to that here in a little bit. So you'll notice when I plug this Nano in, it immediately asks me for my PIN code. And some of the viewers here, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but there is a warning message that pops up at a certain point when you're setting up your device, when you're setting up Ledger Live, where if it says, if you plug in your Nano and it goes directly to the PIN lock screen, contact Ledger support. The reason for that is because if you were to ever get a Nano, like in the mail, like you bought one, and you plugged it in like this, and it immediately asks you for your PIN code, that would tell you right away that this Nano has already been set up. Because if the Nano wasn't set up and it was brand new at factory settings, then it's going to open up to the Welcome to Ledger Nano S Plus. Go to this link to download Ledger Live. Here's how you get started. But since it's so that's why that message is there. But it's really important to note that after you do set up your device, it's perfectly normal. It should ask you for your PIN because that's how you unlock your device. It's set up, it's got the recovery phrase, and so that creates a little bit of confusion sometimes with some of our newer users that are like, whoa, I just got this. Yeah, I set up my Nano, but I'm still getting this. It's asking me for my PIN, and it said here that, you know, I should contact you guys and that this may be an issue. So just for clarity, after the device is set up, not an issue. It would only be an issue if it was fresh out of the box. And so the reason for that is because there was a scam that occurred a while back. We haven't seen it in quite some time. It wasn't honestly a very effective scam because it was a little obvious, but it did catch some people. So basically, what people would do, what the scammers would do, is they would intercept packages, set up the Nano, or sell from an unauthorized reseller with the device that's already set up. They'd set it up, generate the recovery phrase, and put a copy of the recovery phrase in the box with the Nano, and with instructions that said, hey, here is your new recovery phrase, and here is your automatic assigned PIN code for your Nano. And it was tricking users into using a Nano that was already set up to load funds on. And of course, the scammers also have a copy of that recovery phrase. So then they were able to just sit and wait for the user to deposit crypto into the account, and then they had access to it. So that's how that scam worked. Like I said, we haven't seen that in quite some time. So just note, the key takeaway for that is if your Nano came with a pre-printed out recovery phrase, or maybe sometimes it looks like a little scratcher ticket, that's definitely an attempt to scam you. And in that case, definitely contact us right away because we're going to want to know where you got that from and try to piece together what might have happened there. So today, this is obviously not a scam device. This is one that we use all the time. And so it's asking for the PIN code. So let's say that your friend, you know, gave you a Nano and they forgot to reset it. Well, there's a security feature on the Nano where if you enter the PIN incorrectly 3 times, then it's going to automatically factory reset the device. There's no way to stop that from happening. And so basically that creates a situation where if someone stole your Nano or someone gave you a Nano, like you would have to guess the PIN code within 3 attempts. And that's basically impossible if you have a fairly secure PIN code that you set up. And it's not something obvious like 1, 2, 3, 4, or, you know, something like that. So I'm going to simulate that, okay, I just got this Nano from a friend. Oh, they forgot to factory reset it. Okay, let me just go ahead and do that. I don't know their PIN code, so I won't be able to get into this thing anyway. So I'm just going to put in random numbers, 6, 4, 4, 2. And then you see there, invalid PIN, 2 attempts left. Okay. 7, 6, 0, 0. Check mark. Invalid PIN, 1 attempt left. 1, 4, 8, 5. Also invalid PIN. So now the device is going to reset. There's no way to stop this from happening. You scroll to the right, and the only option, if this was your Nano, would be to let it reset and then restore it with your recovery phrase, or you just set it up as a new device if it's a new Nano. All right, cool. So then now you see it's right back on the screen that we expect to see when you plug in a brand new fresh Nano. Welcome to Nano S Plus. Press the right button. So yeah, so I just wanted to kind of show you guys that it's a little bit of a different thing to start out the video, but it's I think it's pretty useful to understand this. So this is now a brand new setup, brand new factory reset Nano, the same as you would get from if you bought it brand new from our factory or from an authorized reseller. And we're just going to go ahead with the setup process now. All right, press the right button to continue. And press both buttons to continue. Oh, and just for real quick, on the Nano S Plus, the Nano X has buttons here and here. The Nano S Plus and the Nano S have buttons here and here. The left button, close to the charging port, will bring you to the left. The right button will bring you to the right. And pressing both buttons simultaneously will make a selection. And not holding it down, just quick tap. All right. So we scroll to the right, and we have two options here. We have set up as a new device, or we have restore from recovery phrase. If you already have a recovery phrase, let's say you bought a new Nano, you're looking to upgrade to one of the different model, then you can just take your recovery phrase that you had written down from your previous Nano, and then choose this option, import it in, and it'll make it an exact copy of your other Nano. You'll be able to access all your same accounts. It'll be like creating a spare key to your house or a spare key to your vaults. Okay, but we don't want to do that today. We want to set it up as a new device. We want to generate a recovery phrase. I'm gonna go ahead and set that. First option is to set up your new PIN. So I'm gonna set this PIN to 1, 1, 1, 1. And now that's not a very secure PIN, 1, 1, 1, 1. However, we like to all use the same pins for all of our test devices here in the office. That way, if anyone else has to use it for whatever reason, they can come and just know that the pin is 1111. We never load any crypto onto these devices. These are just to test connections and stuff within Ledger Live. So if you are setting up your own Nano and you are intending to load crypto into it, definitely choose a nice secure pin code. And it can be up to 8 digits in length. It doesn't have to be 4. And it's definitely recommended to make it as secure as you possibly can. That way, when somebody, or not when, but if somebody were to steal your Nano from you, there'd be no chance that they would be able to access your crypto. They would guess 3 times, and they'd get it wrong 3 times, and then the device would reset. We'll go ahead and confirm that. And then immediately we get to the step of writing down your recovery phrase. So I'm going to press both buttons to continue from there. This is telling you your device is going to generate your recovery phrase. This is the recovery phrase for all your crypto accounts. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and just go to the right. So you want to, so real quick on the recovery phrase, I'm kind of rushing a little bit because I want to get to this crypto steel capsule setup. I'm a little excited about that. I've never set one up live before. But I do need to talk about recovery phrases for a minute. So your recovery phrase is very, very important. I already touched on it a little bit with the scam that I told you about, where if the scammers have a copy of the recovery phrase, they can also access the accounts, and also you being able to import your recovery phrase into a new Nano to give access to your accounts also is along those same lines. Basically, if anyone ever gets your recovery phrase in any way, they would be able to immediately access your accounts with or without your Nano, with or without your permission. The recovery phrase is the master key to your accounts, and it's not tied to your identity. So there's no company that you can call. There's no organization that can help you if you leak your recovery phrase to someone else. That's it. That is the key to those crypto accounts on the blockchain. And whoever owns those keys, whoever has that information held private and not shared with anybody else, that's the person that owns those crypto accounts. So yeah, so make sure you always keep your recovery phrase either written down or backed up in steel, which I'm going to show you here pretty soon. But the key here, the similarity between that is to keep it offline. So so you don't want to take a picture of your recovery phrase. You don't want to store it in a password manager app. You don't want to store it anywhere in any digital interface, no matter how savvy you are with encryption or what service you're using. No matter how much you trust that service, it it's probably not likely to happen, for instance, if you have your recovery phrase saved in Password Manager, because those are very secure applications. However, they're not invulnerable, they're not infallible. And so when you're talking about wealth that you are accumulating in the form of cryptocurrencies, why take the chance? You know, like it's like yeah, okay, maybe it won't happen if I take a picture of my recovery phrase and save it in a folder in my gallery on my phone. What's the likelihood someone's going to hack my phone and see that? Probably not too likely, but I will tell you, on a large scale basis, being a support agent that has to help, you know, like all manner of situations across the world with users of our products, it does happen, and we see it quite often. Large picture, it's a very small percentage. It doesn't happen very often, but since we know that it can happen, there's no point taking the chance. So make sure you always keep your recovery phrase completely offline. All right, and never share it with anybody. All right, cool. So we'll go ahead and scroll to the right. It's telling us to write it down in the correct order, which is also very important. Your recovery phrase has to be the correct word in the correct order, all 24 of them. If like two of those words are switched, it's going to generate a completely different recovery set of accounts based on that recovery phrase. So make sure you get that, you understand that as well. All right, so we're going to press both buttons to continue. And we immediately get our first word. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm starting to get the technique down pretty good. Here we go. I kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm not trying to hide these words from you. I just, it's hard to do this on camera. All right, so I'm just going to start writing down these words. The first one is lawsuit. Oof, my hand's a little cold. My writing's a little messy. That's okay. But that's another thing to keep in mind is if you know you do have a like not so neat handwriting, I would recommend like just taking your time and writing it down as legibly as you can, because if you get into a situation like, for instance, years from now where you know you have to restore your crypto accounts using your recovery phrase and you can't read your own writing, that could be a very difficult situation to work through. So make sure that you can definitely read your own writing as you're doing this. And if it looks bad, then you know cross it out and you know write it down a little bit better. And each Nano does come with 3 recovery sheets, so you have a couple tries. And you can also just use a piece of paper if I'm being completely honest. Almost done here. Okay, we got our 24 words written down. So once we get to this step right here, you scroll again to the right. It'll say you can press left to verify your words. So if you want, you can go back all the way through to the beginning and you can just make sure that they're all good. But then after you do that and you press both buttons here to continue, it's going to make you confirm your recovery phrase anyway, because it's just so important that this is right. And so here's what the flow looks like. So it's going to start with word number 1, and it's going to give you several options. And the idea here is it'll give you 4 options, I believe. And you just basically go through and pick the right word out of the 4 options. It kind of simplified it a little bit, but still making sure that you know you have it written down correctly. So first word is lawsuit. Second word is purse. manual, sing, chain, flush, this, soft, age, lock, dish, tissue, elevator, citizen, harbor, announce, unaware, flush, history, rubber. Where we at? Word 21 is wrap, country, detail, and priority. Okay, cool. So if you made it, I should have selected a wrong one on purpose during the process. If you select the wrong one at the word you're on, it's going to say, oh, incorrect word, try again. And it'll let you just keep trying until you get the right word. But I didn't get anything wrong. So basically, if you get to this step where your recovery phrase is set, keep it in a secure place. That means that you know that you wrote it down correctly, you showed all the right words, and you verified it. So right here, if lost, stolen, or forgotten, all your assets will be lost. On the same line as someone stealing your recovery phrase, let's say you're in a situation where, like God forbid, you have a house fire or a flood or some kind of natural disaster, and you lose your nano and you lose your recovery phrase. If that were to happen and you didn't have another copy of your recovery phrase, it would be impossible to back it up at that point. And that's actually what we're going to segue into here in a minute with the crypto steel capsule, which gives you another option, a more hardy way to store your recovery phrase that's resistant against natural disasters. But we'll get to that here in a minute. Okay. Never share it with anyone. Ledger will never ask you for it. If anyone ever asks you for your recovery phrase for any reason, they are trying to scam you 100%. There's no reason anyone needs your recovery phrase to help you with a situation with your crypto. That's the whole point of crypto, is that the person has their recovery phrase. They have their own full self-custody, control of their own assets, and it's okay to seek help to have work through technical issues, but it's always with the mindset that this person is going to help me fix my own problem. They're not going to fix my problem for me. And so, and it's kind of hard to get out of that mindset, because we live in a world where if you have an issue with your iPhone, you just call Apple support and the geniuses fix it for you. And it's like, it's no big deal. And so that's kind of why these scams of here, give me your recovery phrase are so successful, is because our entire world has been conditioned to trust these organizations, which, Apple is a trustworthy organization, but in crypto, there are a whole lot of bad actors. I mean, there's bad actors anywhere in the world. It would be the equivalent of, like you get like a scam phone call from someone saying like, hey, like there's an issue with your, what's a popular one? Like Microsoft, the Microsoft scam, where it's like, hey, there's an issue with your Microsoft account. Here, we can fix it for you, but you have to pay this amount of money. And then here, give me your credit card information or whatever, or your bank account information, so we can do a wire transfer, and then they drain your account. It's kind of the same thing. But with crypto, there's no one to contact other than the police to help get you those assets back. So it's really important to always keep this recovery phrase safe, and to understand that this particular piece of information is not something that anybody needs to help you with your problem. And so if they ask for it, they're almost certainly trying to scam you. All right, press both buttons to continue. All right, device is ready. Go to the right again, go to dashboard, and we're in the dashboard. This device is now fully set up and ready to rock. So at this point, I would, if I didn't have a crypto steel capsule, I would take this recovery phrase and I would put it in a safe or a lockbox, or maybe a safety deposit box, depending on if I had a bank that I really trusted. Everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different, depending on what part of the world you live in, what your circumstances are, where you live. So just use your best judgment and do whatever you think is the most secure with your recovery phrase, not including sharing it with anybody else. So I will go ahead and put this to the side for now. And then I'm going to set up Ledger Live real quick, and then we'll get to the crypto steel. All right, cool. Let's check out Ledger Live. So in Ledger Live, if you click here, this is a fresh install of Ledger Live right here. You click Get Started, and then you would select your Nano. It's kind of lagging a little bit on me. I have too much stuff going on right now on my poor computer. Okay. All right, so I selected Nano S Plus. That's what we have. So you have these two options here. First time using it, set up as a new device, or already have a recovery phrase. So if you weren't following along with this video with me on the setup and you're doing it on your own, you'd probably want to choose first time using Nano S Plus, which would take you through all the steps that I just went through step by step. And it would also reinforce some of the things that I talked about. Not in as much detail, which is why I like to go and do these live streams as often as possible. That way I can kind of insert a little bit more into it, but it does a pretty good job. And there's even a quiz that you can take that to kind of test your knowledge. It's optional, but it's just a like test to make sure that you understand the basic concepts of like how important the recovery phrase is and its nature to Ledger Live. But we're going to go ahead and choose this one. Already have a recovery phrase, and we're just going to proceed straight to connecting our Nano S Plus. Okay, so this is the second piece of what I was talking about earlier on whether you can verify if you have a genuine device. So this step right here is called the genuine check. And so this is required anytime you set up Ledger Live, and it also happens anytime you go to a certain tab within Ledger Live to install Nano apps to be able to create your accounts. And I'm going to show you that here in a second. But basically what this does is it'll scan your device. It'll make sure that it's got all the correct hardware and software in it. If it's been tampered with in any way, if anything doesn't look right, then it's going to immediately fail the genuine check. And you're not going to be able to use this device. You won't be able to load crypto. You won't be able to do anything. And at that point, you'd want to contact us and be like, hey, I failed the genuine check. Can you guys take a look at this device and tell me what's going on? And we would very much like to get that from you so we can and ship you a new one. That way we can kind of see what was done to it. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do the genuine check right now. So in the scenario where I got this from a friend, a third party, someone that gave it to me, and it's like, okay, I reset it, but is this actually a good Nano to use? Like, is it secure? Let's check. Okay, so we're going to allow a secure connection with Ledger so that it can do that. We're gonna, you have to give it permission. You always have to give Ledger Live permission to do these things. So yeah, right there, all good. Your Ledger Nano S Plus is genuine and ready to use. It's a pretty quick process. So now we can continue. So now we are in the main Ledger Live. This is the main Ledger Live application. So this is the tab I was talking about. This is the My Ledger tab right here. I'll go ahead and break the connection real quick. And then because since we already did the genuine check and we already allowed the secure connection with Ledger Live, that's going to remain in effect until you disconnect your Nano. Anytime you reconnect your Nano, it's going to break that connection. And in order to perform the genuine check again, and then you have to perform the genuine check again. So we'll go ahead and put in our unsecure pin, which is 1111. Okay. And then we go to the My Ledger tab. And then we have to do the genuine check again. And this tab right here is where you install the Nano app and where you update your device, where any change that happens to your device happens in this tab. And so if you can't get into this tab because you can't pass a genuine check, you would never be able to use it to store crypto because you wouldn't be able to install these apps. And now these Nano apps right here, these will give your Nano the ability to interact and create accounts and sign transactions with specific blockchains. However, it's important to note that your actual crypto accounts are derived from your recovery phrase. They're not derived from these Nano apps. And so I can install the Bitcoin app here. And yeah, let's let the Bitcoin app install. Okay, so now you see it popped up on the dashboard. We've got the Bitcoin app right there. You can install a bunch of different apps. You can see it took up a little bit of space. Some take up more space than others. But this can hold about 30 to 50 apps pretty comfortably on the Nano S Plus. On my own personal one, I think I have like 40 something apps on it. So yeah, so now we just gave our Nano the ability to communicate and interact with the Bitcoin blockchain. So now we can go to add account, open the Bitcoin app. It's going to take a minute to synchronize. Okay, cool. So it found that. A fresh Bitcoin wallet, unused, never before used in the history of the Bitcoin network. We're going to go ahead and stop this because I just want to go ahead and add this account. The reason it takes longer with Bitcoin is because there's 4 different account types. For Bitcoin, you have, here, I'll show them right here. If it goes. You got, let's see, you've got Legacy, SegWit, Native SegWit, and Taproot. And these are all just different types of, the way that, different account types for Bitcoin. It's important to note that any Bitcoin type of account, SegWit, Legacy, Native SegWit, Taproot, they're all interchangeable. You can send Bitcoin back and forth between these different accounts, but they are separate accounts. Even if you derive it with the same recovery phrase, they will be separate accounts. So you can make 4 different types of Bitcoin accounts. I usually go with Native SegWit as just like the default, because that's kind of what most exchanges support. Taproot is like not as commonly used, so we're just going to add a Native SegWit here. Okay, so then now we have our Bitcoin account. Things are a bit laggy right now in Ledger Live. Okay, cool. So now we have this account here. See, we have this Bitcoin account. So now I can go back to the My Ledger tab. Let's say that I have an older Nano S and it doesn't have a lot of memory space, or let's say I'm on my Nano and I have like 40 something apps, and it's like, oh, I need to install the Cardano app, but I don't have enough space on my Nano to install the Cardano app. Well, I can just uninstall Bitcoin to make room for it. Okay, so now I no longer have the Bitcoin app. So now I can't interact with my account anymore because I don't have the Bitcoin app. But I can install the Cardano app and make a Cardano account or any other one. And then if I did want to interact with my Bitcoin account again, all I'd have to do is remove an app to make room for it, reinstall the Bitcoin app, and you're back in business. So go ahead and set that down. What are we doing on time? We're doing great on time. Okay, great. I was shooting for the 10:30 mark to get done with the device setup. I did kind of breeze through it a little bit today, but that was just so we have time to check out this crypto steel capsule. So let me go ahead and switch to. We'll see how well it turns out here on this little camera. Actually, all right, cool. We are good. Let's see how that looks. That is huge. Okay, let's go to the main camera. All right, so fresh crypto steel capsule hasn't been opened, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and we can check it out. Okay. Here. All right, so we got it, the plastic turned off, taken off. Let's go ahead and slide this out right here. Outer cover slid off, and then open it up. And so here, this. Okay, so here it is. Inside this case, it's a little intimidating because it's so big, but I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly how this works. Let me get all this correspondence out of the way. Okay, so on the inner sheet here, there is a lot of, it basically tells you exactly how to do it with pictures. It makes it pretty easy. So like if you are setting this thing up for yourself, yeah, you can kind of follow along with this and kind of get a basic idea. But I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side, and we're just going to dive right into the crypto steel capsule here. I might not have time to actually build the entire seed phrase, but I'm going to get started on it and kind of show you how it works. So pull this out. So here's the crypto steel capsule here. So you untwist this right here. So you see it's like a nice, it's, stainless steel. It's resistant against, rust, fire, flood, like pretty much anything. It's steel. So if you untwist this right here, this cap, And then you pull this whole arm thing out right here. And we can take this thing out right here. And so now you're left with this crypto steel arm right here that you're going to slide the little pieces over. And then right here, you have all the different, so each one of these tiles is a different letter. It's got all the letters of the alphabet. And then it's even got like numbers and stuff here. So you can actually build all sorts of stuff into this thing. But we're just going to do a normal seed phrase. And then right here are the fasteners. I'm going to show you how those work after we get this thing kind of set up. So, open this up. Okay. So we grab our secret recovery phrase from over here, which is now not a secret because I've definitely leaked it online. So of course we would never be able to add any crypto to any of these accounts because it would probably be immediately taken by some savvy viewer that's, written down the recovery phrase. So our first word is lawsuit on this recovery phrase. So one thing that I didn't mention before that is very relevant in this, necessary to understand in this process, is that your recovery phrase words all come from the BIP 39 word list. So what this is it stands for Bitcoin Improvement Protocol 39. And it's kind of become like the gold standard for how recovery phrases are derived and generated, and everyone uses it. So basically, this is a list of 2,048 total possible words that can derive all recovery phrases. There's only 2,048 only. It's quite a bit, but there's 2,048 of them. And each word on this list is uniquely identifiable by only the first four letters. So that means that the word lawsuit, LAWSUIT, you really only need LAWS. There's no other word on the BIP 39 word list that starts with LAWS. There's only one. And so this becomes a little bit more obvious to users who, or maybe a little bit confusing to users who are restoring their device from their recovery phrase. And of course, your Nano has the complete BIP 39 word list. And so it knows all the possible words that it can be. So as you type in letters, L, A, W, it's going to narrow down the possibilities. And by the time you get to the fourth letter, it will always know the exact word that you're trying to put in because there's no other possibilities. And so, that's how your Nano is able to narrow down on it like that. And so along those same lines, when you're building your cryptosteel capsule, you only want to use the first four letters of the word because there's only enough room on here for there's enough room basically for like the 96 characters for the first four letters of each word in the 24-word recovery phrase, plus space for the spacers to space them out. So let's go ahead and just get started with that. So I actually like to, when I set these things up, I actually like to start with a spacer just because I feel like it just like looks a little cleaner, but it doesn't really matter. So we want to build lawsuit as the first word, and you want to make sure you build them in the correct order, just like on your recovery sheet. So let's find L. Here's an L right here. We'll go ahead and slip that in. And you see I kind of just like, it's got these little holes in the middle of them. You can just kind of slip that right on. And then boom, and it's punched in. It's an L right there. Then we find an A. And it's also very helpful to make sure that, because the A on this is punched in a specific spot, so to keep it kind of uniform as you build it, that way it's easier if you're ever in a situation where you have to actually use this thing, where you're not having to like turn it, okay, where's the next letter? They're all going to be right here along this ridge. L, A, W, and S. That's the first four letters of the first word. That's all we need. That's all we want. Correctly. It's a bit of a tedious process, but you only have to do it once. So definitely take your time whenever you do this, and yeah, just take your time. There's no rush getting this done. So we put in the first word, LAWS. Let's go ahead and throw in one of these differently shaped spacers right here. throw that on. So now, I don't know if how well you can see this, but right here we have a spacer down here, a spacer here, and see how they look a little bit different. It's out right there, and then there's the words in between. So then you would just basically stack each word on top of each other until you get to all 24 words. We'll do another one. Next word is purse, P-U-R-S. So let's see. So P, E, U, R, and S. Okay. We got P-U-R-S, and we're going to throw another spacer on. Just like that. And then you can kind of see now, like it's stacking, it's going to eventually look like this all the way up. And so if you ever had to, and there's only going to be a little bit of space at the end left over, so you can kind of separate it out and look. So if you ever had to use this to restore your recovery phrase, you'd have to, untwist it, pull it out, and then you would go like this, and you would just basically be like, okay, oh, it's actually helpful with a pair of tweezers. Yeah, and you just build, and you get your recovery phrase this way. So this actually, if you are hard of seeing, this may be a difficult kind of tool to use, but it's definitely much more secure and much safer to keep it on steel than it is on paper, because paper is very flimsy. And so, I mean, the idea is that you don't ever have to use this. A good idea would be to build your recovery phrase into steel, either a crypto steel capsule or one of the other solutions, and then also still have a copy of your recovery phrase, have them together in the same secure location. Remember, because if someone steals this or they steal your sheet, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter. So yeah, so it's good to have still have a written down copy in case it's much easier to reuse that or whatever. But in the event that something happens to your home or the place that you are storing your recovery phrase, the paper is going to get destroyed. This will not get destroyed. So while it may be a little bit difficult to go through this, it's still really good for peace of mind to have it on a medium that is resistant to such situations. Let's build one more word. Actually, let's just go ahead and show how to do the fasteners, because the fasteners are a little bit tricky too. So the fasteners are right here in the bottom right of the, I'm not going to pick it up because I don't want to drop these all over the place. And it comes with 4 fasteners. So in the little tutorial right here, it says to use, let's see, what is it? All right, you got the fasteners. Yep. So it basically, suggests, it doesn't suggest to do this, but it implies to use only one fastener. However, when I'm building these things, I prefer to use multiple fasteners, and I'm going to show you why. So to do the fastener, it's got this little arm that extends out. You put this through, and then you can bend this little arm like this, and then like that. So then now you have that little fastener piece right there. So now you can go like that, and your recovery phrase words cannot fall off of this. And that is, it's cool. It's simple. It's elegant. However, check this out. So when you have your crypto steel capsule, you have to go through and you have to twist it in right here. I haven't actually seen this happen, but for some reason I just think that it could happen. Just like being a mechanical person, when you untwist this and pull it out, imagine a scenario where this little fastener gets caught on the threads in here, or on the lip that's down below the threads, and it pulls the fastener off, and you go like this, and your words just all over the place. Again, I haven't actually seen that happen, but I am, extremely careful and perhaps a bit paranoid. And because this is the only, the most secure and only backup to my crypto, I want to make sure that these mistakes don't happen. That's nothing like that could ever happen. So to help with that, I use multiple fasteners on a crypto steel. So then I can put it in like that and add another fastener, and then maybe even add a third fastener and just really make it so that it's like no matter what happens, it's impossible. Again, that's just my own little tip that I tell people when setting these things up, just to like make it a little bit more robust than it already is. But yeah, so then ideally you have your all your words here, and then you can take this crypto seal capsule, twist it up, and store it somewhere safe. So yeah, that is the full setup of the crypto steel capsule, and kind of how it works and why you may want to look into possibly checking out one of these solutions. Let me go ahead and put this back in. Okay. All right, cool. So that actually didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take. I think I will. It looks like Chris has been really handling the mod work. Let me go ahead and just tie out with the comments to see if there's anything that I can maybe help out with. Okay. Yeah, Chris has been all over it. Wait, I think that we're probably good to. I think we're probably good to just kind of show you guys some other stuff. Okay, cool. Yeah, we have about 13 minutes left, so let me show you some other stuff. Let's switch back to this big monitor. And by the way, thank you very much, Chris, for helping out with the mod work. Much appreciated. So yeah, so this is the Nano that we just set up. Here's the recovery phrase. I'm going to store it over here in the burn pile. And then, let's see, let me grab my other Nano. I go through this demonstration a lot, but I found that it's very useful. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my Nano case here. I'm going to throw that Nano down. Okay, so here are two Nano S Pluses. This is the new one that we just set up. There's no crypto on it. The recovery phrase has been doxed. So these accounts are all empty. So let me go ahead and show you how you might be able to manage multiple accounts from multiple different ledgers within Ledger Live. Oh, yeah, definitely. All right, cool. So our mod just popped in and asked me to address the question directly. So before I get to this, I'm going to go ahead and help out Leonardo here. Leonardo Pio said, if you uninstall and install again an app, will the crypto you had before uninstalling be there after installing it again? Yes. So the Nano apps, here, I'm just going to go ahead and plug in this other Nano here. This is the one I was talking about where I have a whole bunch of different apps. Actually, let me put in. This one does have crypto on it, so I'm going to put in my PIN code secretly back here. Okay, cool. As you can see, look at all these Nano apps on this thing. We obviously have to interact with a lot of different blockchains to help out our customers. So I'm going to go here to the My Ledger tab. And I have to allow genuine check again, new Nano, or really not because it's a new Nano, but because I broke the connection and Ledger Live is not currently connected to a Nano, so I have to give it permission. And you can see I have these apps installed here. Here's all the different Nano apps that I have installed. It's quite a few of them. It looks like I have 32 actually, and I got some big ones on here. Some of them take up much more space than others, depending on the complexity of the blockchain and how many different functions are needed to be built into the app. So if we go here to the Accounts tab, I will add the Bitcoin account from this Nano, which is going to be a completely different one. Okay, we'll open the Bitcoin app. Okay, you can see this one, the Bitcoin account tied to the recovery phrase on this Nano does have a little bit of Bitcoin in it. And so it popped up right here. You can see there's 0.001 Bitcoin in this account. So we can go ahead and stop this right now. And that's the account that we want to add. Okay. And so now you can see there's about $30 worth of Bitcoin. And they're both Bitcoin 1. And that's because Ledger Live itself doesn't actually store your crypto. As I just showed, like I was able to add an account that already had crypto in it. Because your crypto only ever exists on the blockchain. Ledger Live is really just an application that lets you manage your crypto and communicate with your crypto. But your crypto is not reliant on Ledger Live or on the Nano app. So I'll show you that here right now. So let's see. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and rename this Bitcoin account right here as soon as it loads. It's not wanting to load. Looks like it's nice and frozen. Frozen. I have way too many tabs open. Let me see if I can close some stuff. Okay. Counts. That helped. All right. I guess having a separate Chrome window open with like 800 tabs was not helping things very much. All right, cool. So we go here. I'm going to go to this little wrench icon up here. I'm going to rename this account to BTC-SG. This is the Stadium Goods Nano X right here edition. Sorry, Nano S Plus edition. So I'm going to name it that just to make things easy. We'll go ahead and apply it. These here we have BTC-SG. You can name your account whatever you want, whatever you please. So now I can go back to the My Ledger tab. And since I already did the genuine check on this ledger and we never broke the connection, you don't have to do it again. You've already allowed it, so you're already still connected to the My Ledger tab. Okay, so let's go ahead and uninstall the Bitcoin app, which is down here, right here. Crash it. Okay, you see it's uninstalled, freed up a little bit of space. You go back up here to the accounts tab, and the Bitcoin account is still there because we shared the public wallet address of the Bitcoin account with Ledger Live. Ledger Live has that information, and all you can do with that information is receive crypto or view the crypto that's in the account. You cannot actually send crypto from the account. That has to be done with the private keys, which is why your Nano is still needed to sign transactions when you send from Ledger Live or from any other wallet that you're connected to with your Ledger. Because it never shares the private key. This is the gatekeeper of that. And so it gives you full access. Only you with your Nano can sign transactions, assuming that your recovery phrase hasn't been leaked. So now, let's say I want to send some of this Bitcoin to this other Bitcoin account here. We can go here, let's generate the receive address for this Bitcoin account. We can cheat real quick and go and do that. And so we get this receive address for the Bitcoin 1 account, which is tied to this Nano right here. Let's go ahead and copy that. Let's continue. Let's go back to the accounts and let's go here and let's see what happens when we try sending it. Okay. We want to send some Bitcoin to this wallet address right here. I want to send 0.005, about half of what I have in there. I usually like to select the fast option when I'm actually sending Bitcoin. It costs pennies more, but it'll ensure that your transaction is settled very much quicker. But we'll just do this for now for this demonstration. So I'm not actually going to send. Again, if I were to send any Bitcoin to this Nano, it'd probably get sniped pretty quick. So we're going to go ahead and continue, and we're going to continue again. So now it's checking app dependencies. It's saying, well, wait a minute, like your Nano isn't set up to be able to even interact with this account right now. Like what do we have to do? And so right now it's going to go through this flow and it's going to install the Bitcoin app automatically for me straight from this flow. And then now we can open up the Bitcoin app. It's telling us to do so on Ledger Live. And then it continues. So it just basically forced me to reinstall the Bitcoin app. But as you can see, the Bitcoin app is only needed to actually send the funds from the account and interact with the chain. I'm actually going to go ahead at this point, and instead of hitting approve, I'm going to reject it. I don't actually want to send that Bitcoin, so I'm going to go ahead and just reject that. And then operation was denied on the device. Good to go. My Bitcoin's still in my account. And that's it. So yeah, so very long, drawn out answer to your question, but no, the Nano app uninstalling, reinstalling, whatever will have no effect on your actual crypto accounts. You can always just reinstall the app whenever you want to interact with those accounts. Yeah, no problem, Leonardo. Appreciate that. Let's see. Game to Earn 01 saying, I have to travel to Ledger. I am more worried it being stolen, so worried about PIN than seed phrase. How many attempts a stranger gets to guess PIN? So they only get 3 attempts, Game to Earn. So basically, if your ledger is stolen, and as long as you had a good PIN code, so one really good good tip that I can give you is don't keep your PIN code with your Nano. So like, don't write your PIN code down on a piece of paper and put it in your desk drawer. Your Nano itself, as long as the PIN code is secure, I actually usually recommend people to write their PIN code directly on their recovery sheet. Oh, let me switch back to the main camera here. Directly on the recovery sheet, because honestly, if someone steals your recovery sheet, that PIN code won't matter anyway. They already have access to all your accounts. And so this is a good secure place to write your PIN code in case you ever forget it. So basically, yeah, so don't keep your PIN code anywhere where anyone can steal it. Same with your recovery phrase. Your Nano itself, as long as your PIN code is safe, it's really kind of impossible for someone to do anything with that if you have a good, strong PIN. Because with only 3 attempts, it kind of eliminates that possibility, unless someone gets incredibly lucky. But that's, if you have a solid 8-digit PIN, which is what I always use for my own personal devices, and and what I always recommend for people to use, the idea of guessing it within 3 attempts is just, yeah. And there's no possible way to stop it from happening. Let me go ahead and show you. So if I plug in my Nano and I enter the wrong PIN code, 7036. Invalid PIN, 2 attempts left. So let's say I unplug the Nano and I think I'm being sneaky. I'm like, okay, let's see if we can reset that. And immediately the Nano's like, no, I remember what you're trying to do. You only have 2 attempts left, and that's the end of the story. And so if I were to enter that PIN incorrectly 2 more times into this Nano, that's it. It's factory reset, and there's no possible way to stop that from happening. So I hope that gives you some peace of mind. Personally, I keep my Nano just in my desk drawer at home. Like, I don't want it to get stolen because I spent money on it, and it's a very valuable tool for me to use. But I do know that if it does get stolen, joke on the thief, because I'm just going to get a new Nano, and they're never going to get access to my crypto. So I hope that kind of helped. Let's see. Looks like Mia Vernaza is, you shared a case ID. I'm going to have to scroll up. Oh, here. Let's see. Oh, you've been waiting 2 days for a response. That's not good. Let me go ahead and copy this. I'm going to take care of this for you. Add this to a quick note. That way I don't remember, or I don't forget. There we go. All right, cool. I got your case number. After the stream, which is, looks like another minute or so, I'll get your case. I'll either take care of it personally, or I'll get it assigned to one of our senior agents, and they'll help you out right away. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything else. Oh, here it is. Okay, here's your question. I was able to redeem. Yes, it was more than 30 days ago, and the balance was showing in my account. Oh. Okay. Yeah, okay. So you tried. Let me scroll back up. So you had a whole conversation. So you redeemed $20 worth of Bitcoin, probably with one of the gift cards. It was showing in your account, but you opened last night and the balance is not there anymore. Looks like Chris gave you good advice. Usually in those cases, clearing the cache helps if it's in your account. You said you tried that. It's a new Nano. You're going to start adding crypto to my Nano, so I can't see the balance of my $20 words. Okay, yeah. Let me just show you something real quick. All right, so if you go here to the refer a friend tab. Oh, you know what? Actually, oh, looks like it's still remembering. Okay, cool. So I already set this up with a oh no, you have to sign in with your ETH account. So I don't have an ETH account yet. Let's just go ahead and do that real quick. Okay. All right. We got here. Let's add my ETH account back in real quick so we can sign into my own refer a friend. This it's a little confusing. Refer a friend is where you redeem your gift card. We'll go here. Add an Ethereum account, and you have to sign in with an Ethereum account. Even though you're collecting Bitcoin, it's just you have to sign in with an ETH account. Like we're a little laggy again. Don't do this to us. I've closed all the windows I can close. Okay. Well, either way, so I'm a bit laggy right now, so I'll just explain it. It'd be easier. So after you sign in with your ETH account, you put in the gift card code, and then you redeem it. You actually have to wait 30 days before you're able to withdraw that to your Bitcoin wallet. And this is just to make sure that we intercept any like potential scam operations or anyone trying to like get away with anything. It's a solid 30-day wait, but then at the end of that 30 days you're able to then withdraw your Bitcoin into your actual wallet. So the first thing I would ask you is to go to your refer a friend page, and I'd probably ask you for a screenshot of your refer a friend page, and then in like the mid bottom right-ish thing, so to the right, there will be a claim rewards button. And if it hasn't been 30 days, then it will tell you you must wait this amount more time before you can claim it. But if it has been 30 days, you should see a claim button where you can then claim your $30 of Bitcoin, and it'll get sent directly to your Bitcoin wallet in Ledger Live. But if for whatever reason you don't see that, then definitely reach out to us. And I've already got your case number, so I'll get with you after the stream, and we'll hash this out. Cool. All right, so we are a little over, but it looks like Leonardo Pio has another couple questions. So I'm going to go ahead and answer those real quick. All right, so Leonardo Pio, question about crypto steal. Yep. If I understood, when you need your recovery phrase, you take each word from the steal one at a time. So shouldn't you put the words in the starting from 24? Honestly, that's a really good point. So basically, in that scenario that you described, that probably would be smarter, actually, is to start with the 24th word and work your way backwards. That way you start from the top and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down. So in this scenario, let's say years from now, I go to restore for my recovery phrase and I start from the top and work my way down and it's backwards, it's not going to give me access to my account. So at that point, I have to be like, oh, wait a minute. What did I do wrong? Oh, you know what? I think I started from the bottom. So while it doesn't technically matter, what does matter is that you remember where you started, where you did it from. And of course, it can be a trial of elimination. Like if one way doesn't work, the other way will most likely work, assuming there's no mistakes in between. Okay. Yeah, okay, cool. I think that we pretty much covered everything. I'm only 4 minutes over, so not too bad. Yeah, it was a cool video today. We set up Ledger Live. We talked about some cool stuff. I was able to show you some stuff, and we set up a crypto steal and got to talk about that. So yeah, so our let me go ahead and share a link for you. This is our social media schedule. Yeah, no problem, Leonardo, for sure. This is our full social media schedule right here, and it's got it's broken down between EU-based social media and US-based. So we are the US-based team, but our EU team also does fantastic shows several times a week. In fact, they have more shows than we do. They have they're on YouTube 3 days a week, and they're on Twitter 2 days a week. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this here, so you can kind of find out how to attend some of those other ones if you're interested in getting some other perspective on things, because each agent comes with their own kind of area of expertise. All right, social media schedule. Perfect. All right, cool. So I think that's probably a good place to wrap it up for the day. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and definitely remember to stay safe out there. Don't share your recovery phrase with anyone. Yeah, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and your weekend. Bye, everybody.